You know, I'm a Christian by choice. You know, my family didn't, you know, frankly, they weren't folks who went to church every week. I mean, my mother was one of the most spiritual people I knew, but she didn't raise me in the church.
Assalamu alaikum. Many other Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them. But my father came from a Kenyan family that includes generations of Muslims. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction.
So I came to my Christian faith later in life, and it was because the precepts of Jesus Christ spoke to me in terms of the kind of life that I would want to lead. Being my brothers and sisters' keeper, treating others as they would treat me. And I think also understanding that, you know, that Jesus Christ dying for my sins spoke to the humility we all have to have as human beings, that we're sinful and we're flawed and we make mistakes, and that you know, we achieve salvation through the grace of God.
As the Holy Quran tells us, the Holy Quran teaches that, the Holy Quran tells us, and the Holy Quran also says.
But what we can do, as flawed as we are, is still see God in other people and do our best to help them find their you know, their own grace. And so that's what I strive to do. That's what I pray to do every day. I think my public service is part of that effort to express my Christian faith.
Good. Well, let me first of all welcome once again Prime Minister Netanyahu, who I think has now been here 7 times during the course of my presidency. And I want to indicate that the frequency of these meetings is an indication of the extraordinary bond between our 2 countries, as is the opportunity for the Prime Minister to address Congress during his visit here. I know that's an honor that's reserved for those who have always shown themselves to be a great friend of the United States and is indicative of the friendship between our countries. And it's but the one thing I want to emphasize, having spoken about something that obviously relates to me very personally. We will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world. In the United States, rules on charitable giving have made it harder for Muslims to fulfill their religious obligation. That's why I'm committed to working with American Muslims to ensure that they can fulfill zakah.
As President of the United States, I'm also somebody who deeply believes that part of the bedrock strength of this country is that it embraces people of many faiths and of no faith.
You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan. We are you and you are us. And you know something, Mr. President? At least on this last point, I think they're right. We are you and you are us. We're together.
That this is a country that is still predominantly Christian, but we have Jews, Muslims, Hindus, atheists, agnostics, Buddhists, and that their own path to grace is one that we have to revere and respect as much as our own.
I would like to speak directly to the people and leaders of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Your great and celebrated culture. Over many centuries, your art, your music, literature, and innovation have made the world a better and more beautiful place. We know that you are a great civilization, and your accomplishments have earned the respect of the United States and the world.
So if there's one thing that stands out clearly in the Middle East today, it's that Israel and America stand together. You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
It is important for Western countries to avoid impeding Muslim citizens from practicing religion as they see fit.
I think that above and beyond that are two principles, long-standing principles of American policy that you reiterated yesterday in your speech. You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan. That Israel must have the ability always to defend itself by itself against any threat. We are you and you are us. And you know something, Mr. President? At least on this last point, I think they're right. We are you and you are us. We're together. You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
I also know civilization's debt to Islam. It was Islam at places like Uluzada that carried the light of learning through so many centuries, paving the way for Europe's Renaissance and Enlightenment.
You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
It was innovation in Muslim communities that developed the order of algebra, our magnetic compass and tools of navigation, our mastery of pens and printing, our understanding of how disease spreads.
You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
And how it can be healed. Islamic culture has given us majestic arches and soaring spires, timeless poetry and cherished music, elegant calligraphy, and places of peaceful contemplation.
You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
They have fought in our wars, they have served in our government.
You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
They have stood for civil rights, they have started businesses, they have taught at our universities, they've excelled in our sports arenas, they've won Nobel Prizes. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished members of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, citizens of America, and citizens of the world. I receive this honor with deep gratitude and great humility. It's an award that speaks to our highest aspirations.
And that when it comes to Israel's security, Israel has the right, the sovereign right to make its own decisions.
Thank you, and Eid Shoma Mubarak.
Built our tallest building and lit the Olympic torch. And when the first Muslim American was recently elected to Congress, he took the oath to defend our Constitution using the same Holy Quran. In ancient times and in our times, Muslim communities have been at the forefront of innovation and education. Islam is not part of the problem in combating violent extremism. It is an important part of promoting peace. The enduring faith of over 1 billion people is so much bigger than the narrow hatred of a few.
I believe that's why you appreciate, Mr. President, that Israel must reserve the right to defend itself. And after all, that's the very purpose of the Jewish state, to restore to the Jewish people control over our destiny.
And I consider it part of my responsibility as President of the United States to fight against negative stereotypes of Islam wherever they appear. But for all the cruelty and hardship of our world, we are not mere prisoners of fate. Our actions matter.
and can bend history.
We are no longer a Christian nation.
And can bend history.
We do not consider ourselves a Christian nation.
The United States has been enriched by Muslim Americans.
And can bend history.
Since our founding, American Muslims have enriched the United States.
And can bend history.
Islam has always been a part of America's story.
And can bend history.
There is a mosque in every state in our union and over 1,200 mosques within our borders.
One of the points I want to make is that
And can bend history.
if you actually took the number of Muslims Americans, we'd be one of the largest Muslim countries in the world.
Let there be no doubt, Islam is a part of America.
You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
He did bow to the Muslim king, while he did not do it to the British Queen of England. And by bowing, he showed the world that I am subservient. I do bow down to you as a Muslim king, something no other president has done with Saudi Arabia. The Saudi king is his peer. He is not his subordinate in order to bow for him. And this is exactly what Obama did. Usually it is out of respect that someone would nod his head when bowing to royalty, and the ladies will give curtsy. But Obama went beyond what is required as a head of state and bowed to the Saudi king, and that's unacceptable. It sent a message that Islam is superior to any other master or king or president in the world, that an American president bowed to a Muslim king. It also sent a message that terrorism and jihadism is giving Islam the respect it should have on the world stage, to the point that it made an American president, for the first time in history, bow to a Muslim king.
I won't wear that pin on my chest.
It's a little weird, Alan, that in the middle of the campaign the guy takes off the American flag that most people wear because they're proud of their country.
Let me speak as clearly and as plainly as I can.
We are you and you are us. And you know something, Mr. President? At least on this last point, I think they're right. We are you and you are us. We're together.
And can bend history.
You're the great Satan, we're the little Satan.
And can bend history. And can bend history. Bend history. Bend history. Bend history.